Many music genres are criticized for having a woman problem, from metal and indie rock to hip-hop, but because of hip-hop's global reach, it's an easy target. Now some female artists are proving that when it comes to making music, there's no question it's ladies first.
Who you calling the
Queen Latifah parlayed her hip-hop fame to film and TV stardom and opened doors for other women.
Just left a big house to a bigger house. Ain't have a girlfriend, but the is out.
Remy Ma's rap diss aimed at Nicki Minaj almost caused a social media panic attack. At first, Nicki kept a ladylike silence and posted glamorous video shoot pics. Then she fired back.
Right now, I see that, the notion that a woman has to appear in a certain, a mold is just not true.
I keep my money in a rubber band. From the rubber band woman.
We first told you about Young M.A. in 2015. She was determined to make it, being true to herself.
I'm ready for whatever. I'm here. I'm breaking through them doors. Understand?
Ooh. Ooh.
Now it's clear she made it on her own terms.
Look at Young M.A., she comes out in sweats, and the tank top, and the fitted, and she's killing it. On Genius last year, Ooh was one of the most popular songs. It had 2.9 million hits on that page.
Then there's Grammy-winning, multi-platinum selling singer, songwriter, and producer Faith Evans, who's doing it her way. Her latest project is The King and I, an album of duets with her late husband, the Notorious B.I.G. Despite all her achievements and legions of fans, this superstar remains humble.
I know that there's a reason I'm here, and I've also felt like, just to be, it's a blessing to be able to be here. You know what I mean? I think that's very important, to not look at it like you're so entitled to something.
Even with these achievements, there's still a widespread belief that many female artists are not getting the respect they deserve. Let's take it to our panel and find out what they have to say. Joining us for this discussion, the one and only Titi Torres, Hot 97 music director and on-air personality. She's also a multimedia personality and host and an advocate for women's empowerment. Titi, great to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. Also with us is Jazz the Rapper. She's a battle rapper and hip-hop artist from Brooklyn. Jazz, great to have you on.
Thank you so much for having me.
We appreciate it. Also with us is Touré. He's a hip-hop commentator, Sirius XM host on Hip Hop Nation, and he's also a hip-hop artist also from Brooklyn. Touré, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Titi, I want to start with you because you deal with so many of the artists and you know so many of them personally. Why aren't we seeing more female artists, do you think? Or are we seeing more now than we have in previous years?
Well, I think the envelope has been pushed a little bit further. Are we seeing more female artists, hip-hop rappers out there as much? No. If we did, then you would have multiple female rap artists on bigger platforms, bigger levels. It's all about everybody having a lane, right? You see there's how many futures are out there? Tons of them. But you only see one image of a female rapper. Who is it right now? Nicki Minaj. Right? And now Remy Ma has been able to open the door, in my opinion, for more female rappers to come out just because she's so vocal in her approach and what she has done. And I think it's a blessing. And then now you have Young M.A. and then now you have Cardi B. And so I think that, it's a need for that. It definitely is. And I would like to see more of it.
And opening that lane. Jazz the Rapper, for the females, what Titi was saying about how Remy kind of like opened the door too for just that hardcore street type of rap. What do you think about that?
I agree with her. It's, she mentioned Young M.A., Cardi B, Remy Martin, but if you think about it, all three of them have different lanes. So it's harder when you have the same lane because the industry's gonna put you against each other, but it's like, how do you put Young M.A. against Cardi B? You can't.
Right.
So it's just a matter of finding your own lane, and you can definitely push through that, because Remy Martin, she has everybody open to the females now, like, all right.
Remy Ma, not Martin no more. No, Remy Ma.
Sorry, Remy Ma, I'm sorry.
Remy Ma, thank you. I'm old.
Remy Ma was on the mixtape.
She's been studying. She was studying up on this.
She definitely opened a lot of people's eyes, like, dang, I know she could rap like that. So now it's like, let me see who else can rap like that, you know? So
Yeah, exactly. And I think hip hop needed that.
Yeah.
Like
sure.
it
It was
needed
It was like a shot in the
that.
arm. Torre, when
Yeah.
Sheether
No.
dropped, everybody was like, "Whoa!"
Right,
It was
right.
like
It
people
was like when you first heard Ether. It was like, yo, she went like, because I think
she went in.
the subliminals, you know, innuendos, people can allude to things, but when you actually get calling out names and you start putting out facts or, you know, alleged facts, it ups the ante. It takes it to a different place, a different level, and I think it was needed. It was a nice shot in the arm for hip hop, you know, definitely for females in hip hop, but for hip hop in general, because everybody plays nice, everybody's so cutie. I don't want to mess
Everybody's
up
my
my
brother.
sales.
Right,
I don't,
yes,
let's
yes.
get this flick for the gram. And,
Yes.
like, hip hop is competitive at the end of the day, and
Right.
it should always be done with respect, right? You know, and stay on wax or on vinyl or MP3 or whatever. But you know, just the sheer competition, the battle aspect. You know what I'm saying? Like going at who is the top of the class in hip hop where Nicki Minaj was sitting. I thought it was amazing for Remy, but that's Remy. You know, if you
Right.
know Remy, if you've been following her career, that's Remy. She ain't never been scared.
Right, and she just came at it just from like a total street energy too,
Right.
which I think a lot of
Right.
people. Jazz, when you look at that, you're a battle rapper,
Yeah.
and you go hard on your opponents
Yeah.
at those battle rap events. What did you think about like Remy in terms of the style, in terms of the whole, you know, just the way she came at Nicki like that?
I loved it. I'm from that go at whoever you don't like or go at whoever you feel needs to get at, and she held no bars. 6 minutes of ether, like literal ether, like you said, alleged facts, but whether they're facts or not, the fans are gonna eat it up. Oh, she did that. I don't even care if it's true. She said it's true. Like, it's like, it's exciting to hear that, especially about somebody that's Nicki Minaj. She's at the top. You know, when you're at the top, a lot of people want to see you down. So to see that, it's like, okay, where we going with it?
It's rap at the end of the day, and you
Exactly.
wouldn't be where you are if it wasn't for rap. Drake, although people claim Drake doesn't write his stuff,
Right.
when he got tested by Meek Mill, even Drake, as soft as he is, came back and was prepared.
You can't abandon what got you here. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's like a doctor not performing surgery or whatever, you know, field of medicine they in. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's your job. You're a butcher. You can't be like, well, I'm too busy to. You do your job. If you're a rapper,
Yeah, but while
Especially when you're claiming queen.
right? When you want to be
you're
at the
claiming queen.
top of the, you want to be at the top of the heap. You want to be the number one.
Yeah, but Nicki's at it. Nicki seemed to just kind of act like, oh, you know what? I'm the queen. This
That's not
can't
hip-hop,
affect me.
though.
Posting
Bother.
pictures with Future and
Because
these
you don't
designer
have
outfits
you don't
in
have
Europe.
bars when you do stuff
Right.
like
That's
that. You're
not
not
hip-hop.
prepared.
Right.
I think when you take shots at somebody, because let's remember that was a Remy response to
Right.
what Nicki said.
Right. Right. Good point.
So-
And the long-term feud.
And the long-term feud. You know, she put the record up with Gucci Mane. She put the Swalla record
With Jason Derulo.
with Jason Derulo up, and then finally Remy says her name after those records go up. So you can't poke a sleeping bear, and then when that bear really attacks you, you not be prepared for that. You always got to have one in the chamber as a rap artist, in my opinion,
Right.
because that crown has always been tested. To this day, anybody come at Jay, who is the greatest, in my opinion, one of my favorite rappers of all time, Jay is gonna come back. Even Lil Wayne, when Lil Wayne was feeling himself and was going at Jay, Jay said it. You let them gas you to go against your idol.
Right.
So it's like, you know, this
like
has
show respect.
right.
Like fall
the
back.
same with Jay and Drake. You know, the little sublims, the frenemy, you know, that they have
You want to
there.
talk about Summers? I know you're not talking
Right,
about
we're not talking about Summers.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
But
So
you see how with Jay-Z, he does it one line here, one line there. Nicki, she can do that.
When somebody
when
come at
Jay
your neck,
when
though,
your name is
when
dropped,
your name is
do that in one
called,
line.
when
And
your
even the
name
whole
is
inside-
called, you come to
You gotta-
battle.
yeah, you
and
gotta
Jay
show
has
up.
always, Drake knows not to call Jay's name. So that's why he'll take shots at Jay or whatever. Meek called Drake's name. Nas and Jay-Z said each other's name. You know what I'm saying? So when you said,
You call you out your
Okay.
name.
One
That's
is
it.
subliminals,
So-
you want it straight.
go
Say
for
her name.
it.
We got to take a short break. We're going to come back with more of this. This is Street Soldiers. I'm your host, Lisa Evers. We're talking about women in the music industry and also one of the biggest rap feuds going on right now in the hip-hop world, Nicki Minaj and Remy Ma. We're going to find out what's really behind it and why it's been brewing for years right after this.
I mean, I'll give you barbershop talk. A lot of guys don't want to hear females rhyme.
With at this Remy Ma, Nicki Minaj situation. There's one line where she's talking about that basically the only reason Nicki was able to achieve the stardom and the success that she did was because Remy was away. She was, behind bars and couldn't actually participate in the music industry. Is that true, TT?
Well, if you look at the time, if you go back and really look at the time and pay attention to the time of when Remy got locked up. She just dropped the album. She had the Conceited record out. She had whatever. She was really at the height of her career.
Right.
And it's unfortunate, but that's when she got, locked up.
Got in trouble.
Got in trouble and got arrested and had to do some time. So, she wasn't there. She couldn't defend the crown. So, of course, when you're not there and you're not around, somebody's going to come in and enter right into that lane. What's unfortunate, though, is during that time period, only one female rapper was able to come out. Like, that's sad to me. Like, that's on the labels. That's on the industry as a whole. Because back in the day, you had Eve, you had Foxy, you had Kim, you had all of these people, multiple females in the game rapping at the same time, and there was room for everybody. But during that period, just think about it. Nobody put budgets. The industry as a whole didn't come together and push multiple females at that one time.
Do you feel like they just weren't getting the support from the industry as a whole?
Absolutely.
Like the things that make a difference in a career. What do you think about that, Jazz?
I do feel like with the females, she said there were multiple ones out at the same time, but you're only gonna have one that's at the top that is regarded as the top girl, and if you do have two, they're always going to put them head to head.
There's really only been one or two women who can exist at one time, which I think is super whack, because in that golden era in the 90s, you know what I'm saying, like you said, TT said, there were numerous MCs and everybody had a lane. Lauren was Lauren, Kim was Kim, Eve was Eve, Latifah was Latifah, boom, 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 and it was space for everybody. But now,
space.
right, but now, because
But
a
why
lot
isn't
of the
there
music
space now? Because you would think it would be even more women out there because of the whole digital thing. It's so much easier to record.
It's such a male-dominated industry.
Because the people that pull the triggers are mostly men.
It's such a male-dominated industry. And, I'll give you barbershop talk. A lot of guys don't want to hear females rhyme. For as bad as that may be, it's like, I'm cool on shorty. You know what I'm saying? Like, unless they
it's like
really
they want to see guys playing basketball, they don't want to see girls playing basketball.
Yeah, it's very sexist.
That kind of thing?
Hip hop is for what has become a huge multi-billion-dollar business. At the heart of it, a lot of people just don't care to see females in that space.
Yeah, when I want to speak on the basketball analogy with the battle rap. You have the female battle rappers and you have the male battle rappers, and I've heard plenty of times it's like the NBA and the WNBA. It's the guys are more exciting. The girls are good, but the guys are more exciting. I mean, we do have a large fan base. A lot of people do put us on the same pedestal as the guys. They'll say, "Oh, Jazz, you're better than this guy," or you know what I'm saying? And I want to see you battle this guy. But for the most part, it's just the guys are just it's male dominated. So when you see a girl, she has to go for the guy. Yeah, she has to have that oomph to stand out. And if she doesn't have that oomph, she got to look good.
Do you think that the way women are portrayed actually hurts women? We hear so many verses about strippers, so many verses about, I slept with you and now we're going to the shopping mall and that's all it really took, and these kind of things. TT, does that bother you as a strong career woman?
It really does, because I talk to young girls on a regular basis and they really think that they have to be lit on Instagram in order to really be lit in life. And that's the biggest misconception. They watch these reality shows, they see all of these random women just hooking up with different men in the industry and they think that's the way to go. Or they see girls making these crazy, outrageous videos on Instagram, twerking, doing all types of stuff, and they think that's the way to go. But I always tell people, first of all, your lane is going to be different than anybody else's. So your route to success is not going to be the same route that I am going to be on for my success. That's rule number one. And number two is, there are a lot of women in this industry that are very successful, very rich, that did not have to do the things that is portrayed. You don't have to sleep with a rapper to get put on in this industry. You don't have to shake your booty on Instagram and twerk in order to get respect in the industry. You really can really work your behind off. It may take a little bit longer. It may take you some time to play chess, is what I call it, but you'll gain the success and longevity that you want by just staying true to who you are as a person.
And being a real woman. Jez, what do you think about that?
Yeah,
in terms of the images that the young girls look at.
Staying true to yourself, I think that was very important. That was something that stuck with me, that somebody told me when I was 13, and they was like, you know, just stay true to you. Don't change because you feel like this will get you on, or they'll love this. You know, stay true to yourself, and a million people will love you. People will hate you, but you'd rather be loved for who you are than, you know, loved for who you're really not. And I feel like the young girls, even adults, actually,
exactly.
they don't have guidance.
Let's be real.
They didn't have guidance, or they don't have guidance, so they feel like, I gotta twerk on Instagram, and it's not getting you respect. And you know it's not getting you respect. It's getting you attention. And not all attention is good. You have to use it the right way. Now, let's say I wanted to, you know, shake my butt on Instagram or wear, you know, stripper clothes or strip. It's kind of like the eyes are going to be on me, but now use it for something else. I feel like with Cardi B, she's using it for something else. I mean, although her content, her rap content is still, you know, what sells, she's showing that, okay, I can rap. There's girls that love her. And, you know, they like her real personality. She's down to earth to me. That's what they say. And it's kind of like, just use that to your ability. Try to guide the young girls and the adults.
And then try to navigate from it. Because at some point, you're going to have to take off the character. Mm-hmm. At some point, the character has to get turned off if you ever want to keep growing. Right. So you can do that silly stuff that got you in and that got people, you know, people's attention, as you would say, but then there's a second part to that. So then it becomes, all right, so I'm here now, what do I do next? Mm-hmm. Right. And to the young girls,
my next step?
What's my next step? And to the young girls that idolize that or have watched, you know, people's success like that, they also have to realize that that may not necessarily work for you. Okay, that's very important, because she did that and because she was successful in that does not mean it's going to work for you.
But I think what your point is really, really important about the progression, because you look at two of the female rappers that are the hottest right now, Cardi B and Remy. Look at Remy has been inspirational to a lot of women because of what she came out of, what she did, and how she turned her life around and what she's doing. And then also Cardi B too, from her background, and then how she used that platform in the reality TV show. But she always had a plan. She had a management team behind her, and she hasn't. Neither of them has stopped. You know, they're still evolving.
Especially some of the young, impressionable minds. They don't know the whole behind the scenes. They don't know the backstory. They see, okay, she came from a stripper, then she was on Love and Hip Hop, then she just signed a multi-million-dollar record deal. And so for them, they looking at that's the fast track, that's the easy way to go. You know what I'm saying? And not Cardi, really understanding. And I'm not saying she wasn't true to herself and living her truth, which I feel she did. But a lot of people don't necessarily understand everything else it took to get that. They just see what's on the surface.
And I think the Cardi story, you know, she told us here on Street Soldiers, when she first came on Street Soldiers, she said, listen, I became a stripper because I was working in a grocery store and I wasn't making enough money to support myself, had to get out of an abusive relationship. Right. And the strippers were making a lot more money, and that's how that whole thing started.
And that's why we appreciate you for telling those stories, because everybody doesn't get a chance to tell that story. Everybody doesn't get a chance to hear that story. They just see what's publicized. They just see what got, 20 million views on YouTube, and maybe not everything that went behind it.
Yeah,
and I think that's the part that.
But that worked for her though.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? That don't mean it's gonna work for the next chick that's trying to be Cardi B, because that may not work for her.
Right.
And a
lot
she's
of
a
unique
times,
personality.
Yeah,
too.
she has a unique personality. She has different facets to herself. That doesn't mean that's gonna work for you.
Thank you all for this amazing conversation. Thank you for being part of Street Soldiers. Hot 97 music director and on-air personality TT Torres. Also with us, Jazz the rapper, battle rapper, and hip-hop artist. Thank you so much, and good luck with everything that you're doing.
So much.
And I hope we'll be able to follow your career as you move.
This won't be my last time here.
No, nice. Good. All right, awesome. I like that. Nice. Teray, thank you so much for being with us. You can hear Teray on Sirius XM. Hip Hop Nation, and all over the place.
Facts.
Everywhere else, basically.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being with us. We
doubt.
appreciate it. And thank everybody for watching and listening to Street Soldiers. I'm your host, Lisa Evers. Remember, use your mind. It's your best weapon. I hope it's your only weapon. Let's push for peace.